Welcome back to another session. So today you'll learn some of the foundations about how to properly execute one of the most time efficient and effective exercises from a fat loss standpoint there is, and that is sprinting. Now, before you start throwing out excuses and saying, gosh, I have a bad knee, I have a bad this, I have a bad whatever, please keep watching this video, and I ask for your grace, because what you'll learn is some of the workarounds that we'll talk about, like how to start increasing the intensity over time, how to use hills instead of just going out and running flat, and why compressing the time that you run or the time that you exercise into shorter, more intense intervals has better benefits from a fat loss standpoint. So we're with Cynthia Monteleone. She's a mother of 3. She'll be 45 next month. And she taught me the nuts and bolts about sprinting. I haven't done any sprinting or really any running for over 20 years. I did some middle distance running, the 800 and mile and stuff like that in high school. I played football, and I literally haven't run since. And she was teaching me, and will teach you very, very soon, some of the foundations of this about how to sprint properly. Now, I just started doing more and more sprint work, and I will tell you, I noticed the benefits almost immediately. From a concentration standpoint, from a mental acuity. What's nice about sprinting is you're doing high intensity exercise, but it's not high volume, so you don't have that post-exercise hunger. I'm sure you've experienced this before, where you start a new exercise program, you increase the intensity, and then you're hungry, and that kind of balances or counteracts some of the benefits that you expect to achieve from a fat loss standpoint, from a longevity standpoint, from an autophagy standpoint, all of that. And so what's nice about sprinting is you can do a very intense but short workout, so it saves you time. You don't need access to a fancy gym, and for how long? To a fancy gym, and unfortunately gyms are going to be closed for probably the next at least few weeks, more like a few months. So finding exercises that you can do outside with friends, with family, with people you care about, getting fresh air, I think are really beneficial. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's cut to it with Cynthia Monteleone and learn the foundations about how to properly execute the sprint and why it's important, especially for women as you age. All right, Cynthia, so we just did about 1,200 meters of sprinting.
Well, more than 1,200 because we did 150 times 12. So
that's right.
Sprinting.
So we're gonna do a full podcast about sprinting, and especially for female athletes over the age of 40 and being stake adapted, but just wanted to kind of pick Cynthia's brain right here and just help all of you realize that no matter what your age is, you can start sprinting. And there's so many benefits to sprinting, Cynthia. Maybe I'll just turn around, and what would you say to someone who is doing a lot of cardio but wants to get fit and isn't getting results?
Well, I often hear women say like, oh, I turned 40, maybe I should start training for a marathon to get fit and that sort of thing. But what we found is that if you're doing more high intensity work like sprinting, especially sprint interval training, you're actually going to burn more fat and have a better hormone balance, which around that time is crucial for women. So I'm a big advocate of learning to sprint at any age, especially for women so over 40.
It's amazing. She gave me a great tip about how to use your hands, and so maybe you want to share that, because I think it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key for sprinting is always to maintain your form and to stay relaxed. So you tend to close up like this in a little ball when you get tired, and so you really want to just keep your chest open and keep your arms up so that your range of motion is from like the corner of your eye down to your pocket. So this range of motion. And the mistake that some people make is that they use their arms like this. And it's actually not your arms, it's your shoulder swing. So it's almost like you have a bolt and you're just using this range of motion. So you get, instead of being tired here, take deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and keep it open with a big full range of motion.
Amazing. Do you want to talk about your shoes?
My shoes, yes. This is the trend in beachwear for Maui.
I love it. It felt great on the feet. I mean,
yeah, because you're using all the stability muscles, the small little tendons and everything, and your ankles.
Yeah.
You're sinking and you're trying to stay stable, so that actually really strengthens you, and it strengthens your quads a lot as well.
That's fantastic. Do you want to talk about breath?
Sure. I'm a big advocate of staying relaxed, because when you sprint you tend to, and it's very windy today, you can probably hear, so we had to go over speed training with the wind and very resisted against the wind, and the tendency is to take these short breaths because you're trying to gasp for oxygen, but it's better if you mentally think about in through your nose twice, out through your mouth as long as you can in any kind of sprinting. And you can time that with your breathing. You're breathing with your running pattern. So you can go however fast you're going. And it really just helps keep you relaxed and get more oxygen to your muscles, and then you fatigue less and you can run faster and longer.
I love that. So it was 2 little short inhales and a big inhale.
Big exhale.
A big exhale, yeah, exhale, yeah.
Right. 2 short inhale, well, let's say short like to your comfort level, the longer you can. And the same thing when you're resting in between intervals, you want to really practice that long breathing. It's something that I learned a long time ago. My coach always reminds me of it as well. Hey, on that last one you forgot to breathe or something like that. So I always remind anyone that runs with me to remember to breathe. So in, out long. In, out long.
Are you breathing through your nose with the inhale?
Yes, inhale through your nose, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a full podcast on nutrition and being steak adapted, but what did you have for breakfast today, or did you have breakfast?
Yes, I had steak, Maui Cattle Company steak. I had pine nuts and I had raspberries. That was my breakfast.
Fantastic. And during your last competitive event, what did you have beforehand?
I actually had a lot of steak and a lot of salmon, also some berries, but I'm notorious for being on the field warming up with my little baggie of steak in my cooler.
So cool.
Eating steak before my race.
Yeah. Cynthia, where can folks find you?
So I'm on Instagram at fastover40, the number 40, and my website is mam808.com.
Fantastic.
Thanks for tuning all the way in. I hope you enjoyed that video. We have a full in-depth interview coming with Cynthia in the next 10 days. So she's got a great book coming out. I think you'll really enjoy it that will get you sprinting at any age. She has some excerpts in there and workouts from an 83-year-old sprinter, from people of all ages, genders, backgrounds, and so forth that can help you start to improve some of the fat loss and blood sugar improvements that can be achieved from short duration, high intensity interval training via sprints. And so I'm learning this with you. If you decide to embark on this journey with me, let's definitely connect with Cynthia over on Instagram, and I'll be sharing some things over on Instagram as well. As always, thanks for tuning all the way in. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Thanks for subscribing, and have an awesome rest of your day. Catch you later.